Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode number 24 of our EAFC25 rebuild career mode here with Sheffield Wednesday. Just over a week to go until FC26 comes about, and we are entering the winter period obviously of this career mode, and we are in December, coming up to January transfer window. We'll obviously smash out season 2, see where we can end up, and then that will be it for FC25, and we'll move on to FC26 with a brand new career mode. So any suggestions for teams, I've got a few in mind anyway, but any suggestions for teams, please drop them in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can follow all the content over on the channel when FC26 does come out. But we started obviously this game off against Preston North End away from home, and we know that Ikubo has been in great form, as it said at the start of the match there. 5 goals in his last 3 games, and it is that man who fires us into an early lead in this game. Really good ball through to Jamal Lowe. Jamal Lowe unselfishly played the ball across the box, and Ikubo had an easy tap in to give us that 1-0 lead early on. And then it was us who were really pressing in this game. We were looking really impressive, to be fair. We had a full first team out, fully fit squad. Barry Bannon in the starting lineup once again after his injury, and we were looking absolutely solid in this game. And another chance for us here. It's that man again, Ikubo, but unfortunately 12 minutes into the game the ball was cleared off the line and the scores did stay at 1-0. But about 20 minutes later, 33 minutes into the game, it's Ikubo again looking to get even more goals for us, but again unfortunately couldn't quite put that on past goalkeeper. And then Preston did get a chance of themselves in the second half, but unfortunately for them, Piers Charles did make the save for them. Then a couple of changes, Devin Long and Piotrowski coming on in this game, and hopefully they're obviously going to be able to help us build on the 1-0 lead that we do have in this second half. But it was us who were really pressing. Majority of the chance in this game came to us. Another really good chance for Ikubo after a great ball in from Alex Campbell on that left hand side, and absolutely smashed in on the volley for Ikubo for another 2 goals. We mentioned in the last episode, if we can get him back to his scoring best, 1 or 2 goals per game, we could definitely start climbing up this table, and that is exactly what Ikubo looks to do. And Devin Long gets the ball across, and it's another man who's been in decent goal scoring form. Svante Ingolson gets the shot, but unfortunately couldn't get it on target with that right foot of his, and the score stayed at 2-0. And then there was a real good chance of Preston there to half the deficit, but fortunately for us, Osmaj smashes the ball against the post and the score stayed once again at 2-0. And then the final chance game, Ikubo once again stretching a little bit to get that shot in, but fortunately for Preston, kept up with goalkeeper and the scores did stay at 2-0. So really good victory, but some bad news coming off back of it. Kadam Maturi not happy with his game time so far, or recently in this season, and obviously with the form that Ikubo's in, it was going to be really difficult to get Kadam Maturi some game time. So we'd give him obviously chances here and there where we could, but it was going to be difficult for him to get in the team. Obviously we're only playing one up front in this 4-3-3 formation. Ikubo's in the absolute form of his life at the minute. I think it says here 6 goals now in his last 3 games, and it was going to be difficult for anyone to usurp Ikubo in that team. But we came into the second game of the episode at home in this game against Middlesbrough, who were, I think they're around about 7th in the league at this point. I think we're about 9th, so a real sort of playoff battle for those sort of last few playoff places. We're still only halfway through the season obviously, but obviously we need to try and pick up wins against these teams that are in and around us. We made a few changes. Hayward coming in for Barry Bannon in the central midfield position, and Odafin coming in centre back as well. And it was a fairly even game in the first half. You saw there Ikubo got a decent chance with a header from point blank range, but unfortunately saved by the goalkeeper. And then unfortunately just a couple of minutes before half time, it was Middlesbrough who took the lead. Morgan Whittaker picks the ball up on the edge of the box and just rifles one into that far corner past Piers Charles and gives Middlesbrough the 1-0 lead, and that is how they went into half time. So going into the second half, it was Middlesbrough who really started pressing on. It was Morgan Whittaker once again, another decent shot from about 20 yards out, but tipped round the post by Piers Charles this time. And then 10 minutes later, it was Middlesbrough once again. McGree down this left hand side, plays with the defenders, plays into Force with a decent shot, but once again Piers Charles was there to tip the ball round the post and keep the scores at 1-0. But we did get another chance coming into this one. The ball from Alex Campbell comes into Ikubo, unfortunately couldn't do anything with it, and then a real wayward clearance, to be fair, towards Conway, and Odafin couldn't get there, and it actually turned out to be an unbelievable pass with that clearance, to be fair, from a Middlesbrough defender. But fortunately for us, Conway's shot did just go wide of the post and couldn't make its way in the back of the net. But from a resulting corner, ball comes in, it's Dale Fry the header, but once again, fortunately for us, couldn't cause any real problems with it and held onto by Piers Charles to keep the score at just the 1-0 to Middlesbrough. But another couple of changes, Devin Long once again coming on for Alex Campbell, and Barry Bannon coming on to try and make a difference once again in that CDM role for Nathaniel Chalobah. But the game sort of carried on how it was really at this stage. Conway picks the ball up here, looks to beat the player, gets around the defender, plays it into Morgan Whittaker once again, looking to get his second of the game. But once again, Piers Charles was there to keep that one out back of the net, and the scores did stay at 1-0. So an unfortunate loss, but it wasn't the worst performance in the world. And then a couple of messages there before our final game of the episode against Hull City, away from home again, due to obviously fitness concerns in and around this Christmas period. We had to make a few changes. You saw Kai Drake coming into the centre back position there, so definitely a few changes need to be made. Obviously we've got a game sort of every 3 or 4 days at this stage of the season, so we knew we had to use the real squad depth that we had, and hopefully it wouldn't come at a detriment to us, and hopefully we could perform well in this game. But the first chance of the game comes just 3 minutes into the game. A good ball across from Balumi, cleared by us, and it eventually found its way to Hayward in this central midfield role. He chips a little through ball into Ugbo. Ugbo looks to use his pace and his strength against Coyle, gets past Coyle, gets a decent shot away, but unfortunately for us, saved by the goalkeeper. Fell to Alex Campbell. Alex Campbell plays it back to the young man Hayward, but unfortunately an absolute wayward shot from Hayward, and the ball went very wide of the post, and the score stayed at 0-0. But about 10 minutes in, or 13 minutes into the game, 10 minutes after that chance, it was Hull got a decent shot there. Simons with a shot, but fortunately for us, whistle past the post, and the score stayed at 0-0. And then about 10 minutes after that one, is Omo who gets the shot, but fortunately Pierce Charles keeps the save, fairly direct shot at him, and the scores did stay once again at 0-0. But just before half time, Balumi picks the ball up and beats a couple of players there. Pierce Charles makes himself big and manages to block the shot to keep the ball out back of the net. You'll know from last season when we played Hull, Balumi was a real problem with us. He caused us a lot of problems there, and you saw his feet there skipping away from Drake and another defender there as well. But fortunately Pierce Charles was there, and then Hull did get another chance. Simons once again, but fortunately his powerful shot went wide of the post once again, and we did go into 0-0. We did go into half time, should I say, with that 0-0 draw at piece at the minute. But Hull came out better of the two teams. Joseph with a decent shot there, but Pierce Charles once again making the save. And then we did make a double substitution, should I say. Sean Garner, the youngster, coming on, and also Alan Campbell coming on. He's lost his place in the team at this current stage to Barry Bannon since he's come back from injury due to Barry Bannon's form. But obviously he will definitely still get game time, and we got a decent chance here. Sean Garner, the youngster, plays the ball into Ikugbo. Ikugbo gets a shot away from a tough angle, to be fair, rattles it against post, and then unfortunately we couldn't do anything with a follow-up. And then from the corner, Ingleson plays the ball in towards Domayorfa, but unfortunately a poor header picks up by Omu, the Hull player, and cleared away from danger. And then we did decide to give Kadamaturi a chance. Obviously he came to us a couple of games ago saying he wasn't happy with his game time. We know Ikugbo's in great form at the minute, so we knew it was going to be difficult for him to start games or get on, but we thought let's give him a chance here. But unfortunately it was Hull and not Kadamaturi. It was Hull City who got the breakthrough in this game. 15 minutes before the end, João Pedro picks the ball up, fires one into that corner, and puts Hull 1-0 up in this game, which wasn't a great position for us to be in, but we knew we still had time to come back in this one. And just 7 minutes from the end of the game, Devon Long picks it up. The youngster looks to use his pace, beats the defender really well. He could have played it across to Kadamaturi in hindsight there. There was a defender there, so I'm not sure what the best option would have been. But Devon Long did decide to go for it all by himself, and unfortunately couldn't steer the ball past the goalkeeper into the back of the net, and unfortunately it did go wide of post. And then a really good shot there from another of the substitutes, Alan Campbell, gets a really good shot away, but unfortunately a little bit too much on it, and it rattles against the crossbar. And then towards the end of the game, it was Hull who have the final chance with that shot, unfortunately for them, tipped by Pierce Charles, and then a free kick right on the edge of the box was fired wide by João Pedro, and the score did stay 1-0 for the second game in a row. We have lost 1-0, and then some news from the back of it. Alex Campbell, the young left winger, is out for 4 weeks with an injury, so we'll have to deal without him. And obviously we've still got Ricky J. Jones out as well. But just looking at the table now, you can see 39 points is for 6th place in the playoffs. We've currently got 33 points. So although we're down in 12th, we're only 6 points off the playoffs, and things can definitely change. And then towards the bottom, the relegation place is 19 points. We should be safe from any sort of involvement in the relegation spots, and it's those playoffs that we're really pushing to, so hopefully we can do that before the end of the season. And then just looking before January, we don't want to lose anyone in free. We've got Chalobah, Barry Bannon, Jamal Lowe, Liam Palmer and Max Lowe all on their contracts run now, so we'll have a look at the start of the next episode to see if we renew any of them. Obviously Palmer and Barry Bannon both retiring at the end of the season, but the other three we'll definitely have a look at. But that's going to bring it to an end for episode number 24. As always, please subscribe to follow the journey, please comment any suggestions down below, and please like the video. Have a good rest of your week. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.